Hey everyone, in this episode we are going to talk about how to get in the feeling that you already have it. Hi, my name's Laura. Thanks for joining me on Manifest with Acting. If you haven't yet, make sure you click the subscribe button down below, and if you want to do some coaching with me, there is a link below as well. Today we're going to talk about how to get into the feeling that you already have what you want. We know this is the important thing to do. And of course, if you're watching this channel, you know that you create your own reality. You are the creator. You are God. You are the one who creates all the stuff in your life. All the shit, you create it too. All the good stuff, you create it too. So I'm going to tell you a story about how I manifested a ridiculous day and won a ridiculous prize. It's a success story, but it has some techniques with it. And it also, make sure you stick around till the end, because I'm going to tell you how to stop your manifesting from happening, which is what a lot of us do as well. So here we go. I'm going to get right into it. This is the story. I was at work one day. An email got sent around saying free tickets to polo. I was like, "Ooh, that sounds like fun." And I said, "I'll take those." And it turns out that some other people had gotten all the tickets, so I didn't get one. And I was like, well, whatever, no big deal. A couple minutes later, they sent another one around saying, "Oh, actually, one person who got the tickets said they couldn't go. So next person who sends us, lets us know, we'll get the tickets." And I was like, me, I got the tickets. Great. Now, that's not the manifesting story. It comes after this. So, polo. I'd never been to polo before. My husband was kind of like, polo? That sounds like a really boring day. Anyway, on my way to the polo, getting ready to go to the polo, I was like, polo. I got into it was really fun. I had a really good time. I dressed like, I thought I would fit in with the rich people going to polo. So I became this rich person polo character. And I dressed the part. I dressed so that I knew that I would fit in. I dressed so that I knew that when I went there, I wouldn't feel awkward and weird. And it didn't matter because I went in character. And it was fun. I'm going to the polo. It's going to be so much fun, isn't it? Going to the polo. Yes, we're going to the polo. It was just kind of ridiculous, but it was fun. And this is the day. I'm going to keep it short and sweet. This is what happened. We get to, we had to take a train to get there. But the train stop was like 3 kilometers away from the polo field. So we're like, whatever, we'll take an Uber or a cab or something. But there was no cabs and there was no Ubers. And we were like, what the hell? This is so weird. But then, that is part of the manifesting magic. So when my husband and I belong to a walking club. We walk a lot. So we did a ridiculous 40-kilometer walk once, which, that's another story. But we started walking to where the polo was, and it was down this dirt road, gravel road, and it was 3 kilometers or something. So we start walking. And we're still I'm still going, I'm not talking like that. I'm not going oh, I'm going to the polo. But I just felt like that. I felt like I was, I was going to the polo. I was dressed up and I was, I had that feeling that I belong there. Along beside us comes a limo. And the window rolls down and they're like, "Hey, you want to ride?" Just happens to be one of the wealthiest real estate agents. They own a huge real estate company in Sydney, and his family. So we're like, sweet. So we jump in the limo and get driven to the polo. And of course, it's a limo and it's one of the rich guys in Sydney. So he goes to the VIP entrance. He's like, "Where can we drop you?" And we're like, "Oh, I don't know. We'll just, wherever, you go, we'll just go and we'll figure out where we're going to go." Because we didn't want to cause them any issues, right? We didn't want them to have to do more than they already had. So they drop us off at the VIP entrance. And I go, okay, well, I'm just going to check and see, I don't know where we're supposed to, nobody told us where we're supposed to, go in. So I'll just check. my name's on the list at the VIP entrance. So I go in. We get a little, wristband. We go in the VIP entrance. And they go, okay, well, you're just going to go in this place and get your basket. And you get a picnic basket and a blanket. And it's like nice. And you can go sit in the grass and, watch polo. Great. So we go in this place and they're like, they look at our wristbands and they look at their list and they go, oh no, sorry, you don't get a basket and a blanket. And we were like, oh, okay, that kind of sucks. And they're like, no. You get to go in this VIP section with a catered lunch and open bar. And we were like, oh, okay. Going to the polo in the VIP section with the open bar and the catered lunch. That's fantastic. So we go into this VIP section and there is lots of hoity-toities, including the former Prime Minister of Australia and his wife in there. So we're hanging out in the freaking VIP section. And I'm like, oh yes, well, of course we belong here. We're very nice. We're very wealthy. We're going to the polo. All right. So I'm not talking like that. Okay. But it wasn't about acting silly. It was about having fun, but it was also about feeling that way. So I felt like I belonged there. I felt like that was totally normal for us to be in there. It felt like we were like, of course we belong in here. Of course we do. We were drinking wine. We were like, enjoying ourselves. And a guy walked around selling raffle tickets. And I was like, I was in that zone. I was in the zone of that character. I was in the zone of me as a wealthy person. And so when the guy came around with raffle tickets, it was just like, buy $50 worth of tickets popped into my head. And I was like, okay, I'm buying $50 worth of tickets. And my husband was like, $50. He's like, buy 20. And I was like, no, 50. Like, it's in my head, 50. And I said, we've gotten a free ticket here. We've got free lunch. We've got free open bar. We've got seriously, it was a raffle for a charity. I was like, no, my $50 came up. I'm buying $50 worth of tickets. So I bought $50 worth of tickets. And then we enjoyed went on enjoying the rest of our afternoon. And then when they even had the draw, we didn't even go. We were like, whatever, I just bought tickets, not a big deal. And some of my co-workers had been in the general admission area because they went there and our names were on their list as well. They had been in the general admission area with blankets and picnic baskets, but they had come over for the draw and they were phoning me on my phone and they were like, you won. And I was like, what? So I went over there and I won a Maserati. I won a freaking Maserati. Now, it was only for the day. Yes, the Maserati and lunch up the coast. So my husband got to drive a Maserati for the day. Went up to the coast, had lunch. All from going, yes, I'm going to the polo. All right, I'm going to stop talking like that now. But here's the thing. You need to feel like you would if you already had the stuff you want. And this is what I learned from that. I dressed in a way where I knew that I would be okay getting into that zone, getting into that feeling, into that state that I already had, that we were wealthy, that I already had that in my life. I didn't feel shitty about it. I didn't feel like somebody else was gonna be pissy about it if I was, acting like I felt good, just, you know what I mean? And the day was crazy. We got picked up by a limo, went VIP section, open bar, catered lunch, Prime Minister of Australia, win a Maserati. It was crazy. And then I'm going to tell you the rest of the story. At that point, after I won the Maserati, and then the ex-Prime Minister's wife gave me presented me with the prize, and it was kind of ridiculous. It was kind of like I stopped myself at that point. I was like, this is too much. I felt like it was too much. And so it was the end of the day. We didn't have a ride. So we asked there was buses going from the VIP section into the city. So we asked one if we could catch a ride. And they're like, sure. So we get in this bus, we go, and seriously 10 minutes out of the polo match, my husband's like, stop the bus, I gotta get off. And I thought he maybe we had a few glasses of wine, so I was like, he had to pee. And so we got off this bus and they left, and we were in the middle of the freaking nowhere. We were in the middle of nowhere, and it was dark, it was night. And so we walked home 10 kilometers on the freeway in the dark. And that was our, like, this is too much. And I should have just kept going with the, but I didn't. And we ended up walking. It wasn't that bad, actually, because as I said before, we were in a walking group. So we are used to walking along a lot, walking far, doing long walks. So it was totally fine. But it was still like, after that day, it was crazy. So anyway, this is what I want to talk to you about, because getting into character makes it easier to feel like you're at the end, that you're living in the end, that you actually have the things already that you want. And here's some stuff though that stops you. Here's some stuff that stops you from doing that. Caring what people think stops you from doing that. So if you have problems with being, in that character, being in that zone, if you're around people that are, that aren't used to seeing you like that, or who will pull you down because they want you to be like them, you're going to have issues. That is why it's really important to not give a fuck what people think. Just don't. Don't let them bring you down. And if you a really good tip for that is start hanging out with people who are at the level that you want to be at. And that way you do get that feeling. You get that feeling because you're around people who have that feeling all the time. And this will help you manifest. It will totally help you manifest. And I'm going to tell you something too. I wasn't like, when I bought tickets for that thing, I saw the prizes and I was like, ooh, that would be really cool. I didn't think of myself driving it. I didn't think of myself whatever. I was just like, oh, that'd be nice. And then didn't think about it at all. It wasn't a deal. It wasn't a big deal at all. I didn't think about it. It wasn't even like, it was fun. It was like, I looked at it and it was like, you need to kind of go, get that glint in your eye. Like, get that, like, wouldn't that be, sense of wonder. Like, ooh, that'd be really fun. And then just like, let it go. Let it go. And I know that can be difficult for people here's why. Because a lot of times when people want to manifest, it's because they've had shitty stuff that they're trying to manifest their way out of. So they're broke. Their, relationship broke up, or they want to be with a certain person, or they, they don't feel good. There's health problems. So it's coming out of something shitty usually. So it's hard to kind of go, it's almost like if you don't take it seriously, you don't deserve to get the result you want. But that is completely the wrong way to think about it. You just need to it's like you're playing Monopoly. And if you win, you win. And if you don't win, it was still a fun game. Even if it's from something that's really even heartbreaking or, really serious. You have to do whatever you can to get into the feeling that you've already achieved it, that you've already got it. And becoming a character, using that sort of fun, lighthearted, and just stepping into a character that already has that already has the things that you want, and having fun with it can really help you. All right. I hope you enjoyed that and hope it helps you a lot. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, especially if you've gotten any value out of this. Really hit the subscribe button. It'll help me out and it'll help other people who are looking for this type of content as well. And there's also links below so you can sign up for coaching with me. And thanks for joining me, Manifest with Acting. And I will see you soon. Bye-bye.